let's start with some news and notes from NFL training camp. And the first thing I want to talk about is the Patriots traded four-time Pro Bowl edge rusher Matthew Judon to the Falcons for a 2025 third-round draft pick. Now, we do know that Judon was sitting in at New England's training camp, and the interesting thing about this is he doesn't necessarily have a new deal going into this season. Our Jonathan Jones reporting that one is not exactly imminent either, but you can see his stats right here. And when we look at the Falcons and what the expectations are for them, right? Skyrocketing. They've got a win total of over 9.5, I believe, or 10.5, double digits, if you will. Does this make you want to bet them to win the NFC South? Sia, I'll start with you.
It does. And by the way, it is great to finally be with you, Katie Mox. Listen, this number is trending in terms of money coming in on the Falcons to win the NFC South, but I like it. It was minus 105. It's now like minus 135. I would rather play that than the win total, but I will say this. Atlanta's favored in a majority of their games. I think with the look-aheads, it's 13 out of 17. They do have a tough stretch to begin the season, so if you want to kind of wait and maybe they pile up a couple of losses early, then maybe you hit that over, or maybe you hit that NFC South play. But this is a process of elimination play more than it is anything else. Yes, I like the Kirk Cousins ad. Yes, I like the Matthew Judon ad. But when I look at the other teams in this division, I'm just not really impressed. I think Tampa's going to backtrack a little bit. I think Baker's going to backtrack a little bit. Carolina's still not there. And the New Orleans Saints are a team that I think is very much average. So again, you do the process of elimination thing, even though you got to pay like minus 130 or minus 135 to win the division, I still like it.
Okay, so you still like it. PropStars, I believe it was you when we were on a couple weeks ago, where you were not sold on the Falcons, and maybe you were still looking at the Bucs. A little bit of a difference opinion here with Sia. Is that still how you feel, or with Judon coming here and this defense maybe not being as suspect, putting any money on him?
I'm coming around to the idea of Atlanta being the favorite in the division. I think that I do like the Judon ad. If we look at this roster before Matthew Judon, they were sorely lacking a pass rush. So this was a big addition. Not only do they add one of the league's premier pass rushers, but they did so considering they had one of the weakest depth charts in the NFL. I would also point to the addition of Justin Simmons, the safety. I think that is a big move for Atlanta as well. I would argue that the combo of him and Jesse Bates make for the best safety tandem in the NFL. So I like what the Falcons have done over the last couple of weeks, adding both veteran players, Justin Simmons being a former All-Pro, Matthew Judon being a former All-Pro as well. So I'm coming around to this Falcons team, and I would also point out they have the easiest schedule in the NFL if we're looking at projected win totals on this upcoming season. So they're certainly going to benefit from that. Sia mentioned the process of elimination. I would agree. The division is not strong whatsoever. So I do think if Kirk Cousins is able to stay healthy, if this is the top 15 unit defensively, they'll be in good shape to win probably 9 or 10 games. I think 10 games will certainly win the division here. So coming around to the Falcons, I do like the moves quite a bit.
Well, as much as things change, like you see Kirk Cousins here coming into the Falcons, as much as they stay the same in the sense that this is still the worst division in football, so winning it doesn't exactly give you that many accolades. I will say my biggest concern with Atlanta has been the defense. It has been absolutely suspect, and I do think that they have an ability now with Judon to get after the quarterback. Since 2021, they had the worst QB pressure rate in the NFL, and they were bottom of the league in sacks. So you do have to think that Judon is going to help them a lot there. I know they were trying to take care of this in free agency. They wanted to get Montez Sweat. That didn't end up working out. They tried to take care of it in the draft. That didn't end up working out. So this is really the best that they can do. And even though he's coming off of an injury, I do feel good about it. I'm not saying I still believe in the Bucs. I think it's crazy that they're not favored considering they won last year. But that's just me. Larry, what do you think?
I'm with Sia. I think the move is to wait till they play the first 3 games and potentially start 0-3. You have the Steelers, the Eagles, and the Chiefs. And those are 3 of their toughest 4 games. You talked about how easy the schedule is. You know, last year they had the second easiest schedule. They were unable to capitalize on that, went 7-10 for the 3rd straight year. But if they start 0-3 or even 1-2, you're going to get a better price. And look at the way the schedule sets up down the stretch. I mean, the last 5 games are an absolute cakewalk, starting with Kirk Cousins' return to Minnesota. And then you get teams like the Raiders, the Giants, the Panthers, the Commanders. I mean, this team should win 9 games. and that might be enough. Terry Fontenot, like you guys said, he's all in. He's desperate. 3 straight 7-10 seasons. You had to make some moves. They got Justin Simmons. They got Matthew Judon. If they don't win it this year, I don't think they're ever going to win it.
Yeah, 6 straight seasons missing the playoffs. So they got to win their division. They got to get in the playoffs. And it seems to be trending in that direction.